that same mentality that people use when they're in the streets. They want to be a hustler and do this and that. Man, you can
You
use
just
that
put it
same,
in and
yeah, put
put
that
that
same
mentality.
mentality, man. Like, look, if I'm out there and I'm buying an ounce, and shoot, I know I paid 100 for it. I gotta sell it for 150. The same thing. I buy this tool. It costed me $100. I gotta sell it for 150. Except I'm not gonna get arrested, and you can't snitch on me. Like I'm doing something legit. Like.
Welcome to Cutting Up, the podcast that is not only a podcast, but barber therapy. Today I'm with a special guest and one of my friend. Um, what's your name, sir?
My name is Alex Marino.
Okay, what do you do and where are you from originally?
I'm an entrepreneur who owns a couple businesses, and I'm from Rome, Georgia.
Rome, Georgia. What is it in a place like Rome, Georgia?
It's a small town in northwest Georgia, shoot, where majority of everybody knows everybody.
Okay, so it's a very small town.
Yeah.
So you want to tell me about your story in a place like Georgia? Tell me how is it in a place like there?
And
By the way, I would want to cut it. Regular cut?
yeah. Yeah,
All right,
really
cool.
quick.
Go ahead. Sorry about
Yeah, so shoot. Small town that really I try to get away from just to stay out of trouble.
that. Okay, and what are the challenges that you face?
Shoot. I wouldn't really say any challenges, just you hang around the wrong crowd, shoot. You can get into trouble and stay into trouble, and kind of since it's such a small town, I feel like a lot of people can stay stuck in that small town and never move somewhere else, and it kind of can hold them back from growing as a person and becoming successful.
Okay, so you want to tell me about your story, from your transition from there to where you at right now?
Yeah. So my first arrest, it came when I was 12 years old. I was arrested for a bomb threat in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then as a juvenile, I got arrested a few more times for breaking and entering into cars, shoplifting, criminal trespassing, things like that. And then my first arrest as an adult uh, came for theft by taking a motor vehicle for stealing a Lexus. And then my second arrest as an adult was for theft by receiving. And then my third arrest came when I was charged with multiple counts of burglary, um, theft by taking, home invasion, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, um, theft by receiving, burglary. And on that third arrest, I was sentenced 8 times, 20-year sentence to serve 5, ran concurrent 8 times at the age of 17, and went to prison from there. And shoot,
So about that arrest, the third one, you want to tell me about it?
yeah, shoot, I was just young. I was a senior in high school. Shoot, I had about 3 months before I graduated high school, and just hanging around the wrong crowd and just out in the streets trying to hustle and make money the wrong way, and just trying to put some money in my pocket.
All right, so that part right there, I want to get into that part later on. About in the street, hustling, trying to make some money because I noticed there's a lot of young guys right now at this time. They always think that being in the street is the right thing to do. Like I just think that some people who've been there and done it never tell them exactly what it's like.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
we want to get into that, but you can continue with your story.
yeah, definitely. No, I mean, shoot. From there, I went to prison, and shoot, the criminal justice system's a whole another topic. As I feel, sending people to prison isn't the best solution, especially in the state of Georgia, where per population we have the highest incarceration rate in the whole United States.
Wow.
So, it's crazy the amount of prisons that we have in the state of Georgia, the amount of people that are on probation, the amount of people that get sent to prison. And then, the reason why I say that is because when I went to prison, I've never sold drugs a day in my life. And then when I got to prison, shoot, I was looking for a way to hustle. I didn't want to depend on nobody, no family, no friends to have to send me money or, call anybody for money or things like that. So
Yeah.
I started hustling cigarettes, selling cigarettes. Then I started hustling, selling weed. Then, it got into selling all type of drugs, selling any contraband you could think of in prison. Shoot, I was trying to sell it, whether it was pills, meth, cocaine, shoot, weed, cigarettes, cell phones.
So basically, you're saying that going into prison never change anything, or it don't really rehabilitate anybody.
No, it doesn't rehabilitate you like it's supposed to. It really just made it worse. It just, it really just taught me other ways to hustle that I wasn't even introduced to until I went to prison.
So is there anything that you think they could change to get it more like rehabilitating?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I've been to 8 different prisons during the 7 years I was in prison, and there wasn't really many trades they taught you. Some people are fortunate to be able to go to a transition center or a halfway house before being released, where they can work and save a little bit of money before they get out. But for the most part, people in there, they don't teach you a trade. They don't teach you how to be an electrician, a welder, or a masonry, or a barber. Those things aren't really taught in prison. You got a few people that learn how to cut hair, but I mean, you're not learning a trade before you get out. So when you're let out on the streets, you're given a bus ticket on the Greyhound back to the closest bus station to where you live, and you get $35 on a prepaid card, some khaki pants, some Walmart shoes, and a white button-up shirt.
More. So basically, they just give you your punishment and send you back out to try and make it in the world.
Yeah, you sent back in the world. You got 30 days to find a job. You got to report within a week. Go to probation. If you have restitution like I did, which is like $1,400 a month, you got to pay $32 a month for supervision fees, drug screenings. And if you want to leave the state, you got to get permission. So for me, like trying to find a job, it was very difficult as a convicted felon. It's just.
All right. So that is one thing that you just said. I never knew that, right? But I know one thing. I know that trying to find a job as a convicted felon is very hard, especially in America, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But this what I said that I never knew is I never know that you get 30 days to find yourself a job.
Yeah.
And if you don't find a job, what comes from that? What happens?
Well, if you don't have a job, they start throwing you in classes, or, if you're not paying your restitution, that's a violation of probation. And any type of violation of probation, even if it's a technicality, you can go back to prison for up to 2 years.
All right. So what is the restitution that they have you pay?
So restitution is any type of money that you owe back to any of your victims. In my case, where it was burglary, anything that was stolen, or any type of theft or any type of damages, you have to pay that restitution back to the victim.
Whoa. Sorry to cut you, but so you want to tell me if I'm a youth growing up in a community, right?
Yep.
And I see some cars and I want something from it, and I go ahead and steal from that car.
Yep.
After I do my sentence in jail and come out and can't get a job, I have to still pay those people back for what I stole?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So who told these kids in America all of this? So because I know if a lot of them know that you just don't do this and go to jail, and then say a lot of them say pay my dues or whatever. You don't do this and go to jail and then come back out and you're free. So you're still not free after coming out.
Oh, no, you're not free. And then you still got the probation. So on the 20-year sentence, you still got, even if you serve 5 years in prison, you still got the 15 years of probation when you get out. So those 15 years are hanging over your head the entire time. So not only can you go back to prison for a technicality, which can mean not paying your restitution, or if you fail a drug screening for smoking weed, or, not paying your supervision fees, or let's just say you got even a speeding ticket is breaking your probation. Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. So that is a lot. I think maybe some other time we'll have to talk about all that prison time, because as I say, I know a lot of guys out there thinking that being in the street is the best way to go, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about being in the street other than going into jail? Say being in the street and hustling, doing your stuff and not getting caught.
I mean, shoot. The thing about being in the streets that I've learned, everything I've learned from being in the streets, I've learned a lot from being in the streets. But it's you put it towards doing good things and doing different things. But
Yeah.
in regards to being in the streets, you really only got two ways out. You're either gonna end up in prison or you're gonna end up dead. Everybody always thinks, oh, I'm gonna hustle in the streets. Once I get a 50,000 or once I get 100,000, I'm done. I'm gonna stop. But then you get that 50, or you either never make it to the 50 or the 100 you want, or you get to the 100 and you're like, oh, well, now I need 200. Now I need 1 million. Now I need 2 million. It never ends. Like you always need more. You always want more. That's just, I mean, that's human nature for a lot of us. When you think about people that have been in the streets and got out the streets,
Yeah.
I mean, look and see how many of them actually got out the streets on top. Most of the time, you're gonna see ones that, I went to prison and just I didn't do it after that. I was done. I learned my lesson. But you're not gonna see a lot of them. They're like, yeah, man, I made $500,000 in the streets and then I quit the next day after I got to 500,000. I was done. It don't happen like that. It just don't.
Okay, because all right, so I was on Instagram the other day and I see a guy post a thing saying, so when we was young, they told us that get your education and it's the best way to go. But nowadays, what Gen Z and this generation seeing, all we seeing is people that is in the streets. They're the only one that is getting rich. And people who are graduates with degrees and all of that, they're still out here looking job. What can you say to kids who have that mindset?
I mean, I don't really necessarily find it, true when you think about that. I mean, college isn't for everybody. I'm gonna say it's not for everybody. Yeah, can college help you out? When you look at statistics and you look at people and they say, somebody that has a college degree versus doesn't have a college degree, they're more likely to make in the United States, they're more likely to make $1 million more in their lifetime versus the guy without a college degree. I mean, stats don't lie. I didn't go to college myself, but I'm saying if I had a choice between staying in the streets or going to college, like yeah, I'd tell them to go to college. Like, shoot, get you some type of education, learn something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if not, go learn you a trade.
That's what I always think. Learning a trade, you
Yeah.
can never lose off of that because anything you can do with these hands, nobody can take that away from you.
Nah, they can't. And sure, I was reading the other day how all the technology is advancing and stuff, and how they were saying in the future there's going to be a shortage of plumbers because nobody's going to school to be a plumber,
Yeah.
and now plumbers are charging more because nobody wants to go to school to be a plumber.
Yeah,
So there's
nobody
less
want to be a
plumbers. Yeah,
plumber.
higher demand for plumbers, and it's like, hey, like shoot. I mean, I got a quote the other day for changing a water heater,
Yeah.
and I could change a water heater myself in about an hour and a half, and to change a water heater is $1,200. Like that's good money right there. People don't even make that in the street sometimes.
Hmm. A lot of them think that the street make a lot of money. Somebody tell me the other day, you make more money if you do the same time in Walmart. I
Yeah.
don't know, but that's what somebody say to me.
Nah. Man, the thing about the streets that people don't get, man, everybody's like, oh, I'm smart. I ain't going to get caught. I only move this way. I only deal with certain people. I only do this and that. It
Yeah.
ain't about what you do. It's about what the next man does. Like,
Okay.
I didn't get caught and go to prison because of something stupid I did. I went to prison because someone else snitched on me.
Okay.
That's the outcome that you're looking at. Somebody's gonna snitch on you. It's your homeboy. It's your ride or die. He's loyal. This and that. No, man. Look, I promise you, out of 10 of your most loyal homeboys, shoot, at least 8 of them, they'll
Yeah.
fold up under pressure. Wow, 8 of them for sure fold up under pressure. When they tell them, oh, you're looking at 20 years. Oh, Dwayne ain't my friend no more.
Yeah.
Shoot, Dwayne ain't worth 20 years. That's exactly what they're gonna say.
All right. So talking about trades and skills and all of that, um, the business that you're in right now, how do you get in a business like that?
So shoot, once I got out of prison, like I said, I didn't learn nothing from prison. I learned how to sell drugs. So I
Yeah.
went back to the streets. I went back to the streets. I'm selling drugs. I thought I was smarter. I can get away with it. But like I said, somebody's always gonna tell on you. Whether you got 2 clients, 1 client, 10 clients, it don't matter. One of them's gonna tell on you. I was out 11 months and I got arrested for drug trafficking. Got arrested for drug trafficking, 2 kilos of methamphetamine and possession with intent of marijuana, vehicle with a false hidden compartment. And I sat in jail for 2 years fighting my case, going to trial. And I was looking at over 40 years. And it's like the amount of friends that you see that you really got, when everybody's like, oh, I got homeboys, this and that. Man, you find out if you got friends when you're locked up.
Mm-hmm.
A true friend's gonna put money on your books, gonna hit you up whether you ask them or not. Those true friends, man, there ain't many of them.
All right. So did you ever come across any of those friends since you come out?
Yeah, I got some real friends, but I mean, I wouldn't expect nobody to put no money on my books or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you got real friends, they're gonna do it whether you ask for it or not.
Yeah.
And there's very few of them. When you're locked up, and it's not discrediting any of my friends or any of my family now. Like one thing I learned about being locked up is I have to own up to my mistakes.
Yeah.
I can't rely on somebody who's out here trying to make ends meet, paycheck to paycheck. You got bills to pay. If I'm locked up, I'm getting fed. I got a place to stay. I may not have the best food. I may not have the best housing conditions, but I put myself here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't expect Dwayne to be like, "Hey, I'm putting money on your books every week." No, man,
Yeah. That's
Dwayne,
accountability right there.
yeah, you got people to feed too. You got kids, you got family, you got bills. Like I don't got no bills when I'm locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't expect you to get mad. I've seen so many people in there get mad at the family, the friends, cuss at them, and call them all type of names. Like, man, dude, take accountability. You put yourself in here, whether you want to admit it or not, or you say I ain't do it, or this and that, man. Even if you're hanging around the wrong people and they got jammed up and you got jammed up with them, shoot, that's accountability, man. You were hanging with the wrong crew. Even if you weren't selling drugs or doing whatever, you were hanging with the wrong crew.
So what lead you to the business that you're in right now?
Man, I just didn't want to go back. So when I got out, I went to work in construction out of state, working under the table, trying to find jobs, getting the minimum wage, $8, $9 an hour. Wasn't really making nothing, but I know I was free. Shoot, I was struggling to pay my bills, but I was free. I was tempted to go back to the streets, because I knew it wouldn't take but a couple licks to get back right. But man, I couldn't do it. I know what the consequences are. And shoot, like I said, you're gonna end up in prison, end up dead. Somebody's gonna tell on you, whether I'm just gonna do it one time and then shoot, I'm good. Nah, you get addicted to that money, the lifestyle, and so shoot, I told myself nah. So I started doing construction, and then shoot, eventually on the weekends, I started going to the flea markets and trying to sell stuff out of the garage and find stuff on marketplace and flip it, and try and make some money here and there. And then shoot, I started going to warehouses trying to buy wholesale and just trying to flip it and make some money. And then I was able to get some of my cousins, Brent and Edgar, to go to the flea market on the weekends with me. They'd go to another flea market or go to the same one with me, and shoot, trying to find a way to make more money and build it up. And eventually, shoot, I took a chance and signed a warehouse for 3 years. And I didn't have the money for the rent, but for the deposit and the first month's rent, I didn't have no money for the second month, third month's rent. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna get it. Shoot, that same mentality that people use when they're in the streets, they want to be a hustler and do this and that. Man, you can
You
use
just
that
put it
same,
in
yeah,
and
put
put
that
that
same
mentality.
man. Like, look, if I'm out there and I'm buying an ounce, and shoot, I know I paid 100 for it. I gotta sell it for 150. The same thing. I buy this tool. It costed
Mm-hmm.
me $100. I gotta sell it for 150. Except I'm not gonna get arrested, and you can't snitch on me. Like I'm doing something legit. Like this. So shoot, I started trying to grow that, and just it was the same thing. You move up, you start moving weight. Now you're selling pallets. Now you're selling truckloads. Like, to me, it was always the pallet was like an ounce, and the truckload was like buying a brick. Shoot, you're just moving up in the world, and then shoot, you got to supply the other people that's selling the nicks and dimes.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot, I just kind of grew that and got into a bigger warehouse eventually. Got a 10,000 square foot warehouse, grew that. Shoot, we got about 120,000 square foot warehouse after that, and grew that. Got 300,000 square feet, and then expanded to Little Rock, and then we expanded to San Diego, and shoot, now I mean, probably we got about 1.5 million square feet, roughly 200 employees, and we're in 3 states, and shoot, it's booming, man. To this day, I still look at it like the same hustle I had when I was younger selling drugs. Like it's just on a bigger scale, you know. Shoot,
So what's the key you'd say to the success of this business?
man, you gotta stay persistent, man. You gotta stay determined, and you gotta stick to it, man. And the thing is, like, I don't look at nothing that I've done. I've did things that didn't work out, but I don't look at it like failure. People are like, oh, this didn't work out, you know, this happened or whatever the case. Everything's a lesson. Shoot, whether I did this and I learned that, you know, this employee wasn't right, or you know, making this move or dropping these prices, you know, wasn't the best business decision. I learned from it. You know, it's not a mistake in my eyes. It's only a mistake if you continue to do it. If
Yeah,
you continue to do the same thing, then that's on you. Like if I know that I hire my homeboy Dwayne, and Dwayne ain't no good worker, and I continue to let him work there and show up whenever he wants,
yeah.
that's on me when the business is failing. Like I'm allowing it. So yeah, that's my mistake. Like that's me allowing myself to fail. And shoot, like I said before, you know, when I'm failing, who's gonna be there to help me? You gotta look out for yourself, and then the ones that are looking out for you, you look out for them as well.
Mhm.
You know, but you can't look out for the ones that ain't trying to see the same vision as you. If they're not seeing that same vision and trying to, you know, understand what you're trying to do, how you're trying to change people's lives, and you know, be successful and make everyone around you successful, then they don't need to be around you. You need the positive energy around you and people that can have that same vision.
Okay. So what are something that you really passionate about?
Honestly, man, I feel like my purpose in life and the thing that I'm very passionate about is impacting other people's lives and being able to change other people's lives, you know, and it isn't always necessarily about financially,
Yeah.
you know, it could just be their mindset, you know, it could be whatever their goals are in life. You know, it can also be financially though. It could be in a sense of them trying to reach their dreams to, you know, buy their first house or buy the vehicle that they need or you know, help them out in any way that I can, you know, to impact them and change their lives so that they can as well, like I said, see that vision. You know, when we all see that vision, like it all comes together and everybody puts forth that same energy, like it's like a well-oiled machine. Like it's one thing for you to be a hustler. You know, I know I've been a hustler all my life, but I'm still limited to what I can do. You know, if I don't have the right people around me with that same mindset,
Mhm.
then shoot, I'm still limited to what I can do. So anybody who's like, oh, I can do it on my own, you know, I can do this, I don't need nobody else. Yeah, but you're still gonna be limited to what you can do. You know, you can't run 10 businesses, you can't run 20 businesses without the right key employees. And
Yeah.
you know, if you don't got those people around you that have that same mindset, that same energy, that same drive, that same hustle and determination, then shoot, it's just you.
I make sure I ask you about your passion because I remember one time I was talking to your dad, and you know your dad is gonna talk.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So we was just there chopping it up and joking, and I'm like, "So what does Alex like to do?" And he's like, "Alex just like to help people." So, and you know, I think I asked you this before, and I get the same exact response. You know,
Yep.
so I ask you again, and I still get the same response. So, um, I like that. If I don't like nothing else, I like that about you because my thing is growing up. I always say that is something that I think is not only my passion, but I think that's something that's my purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I always think that my thing is to help people that comes after me,
Yep.
help people who I did it before. You know, I always think that I am that kind of person. If I really can't help fully, then at least I can give you that drive or that push.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one thing about it is like people are like, well, you know, sometimes people have such big hearts, and you know, to have sometimes you can have the wrong mindset in the sense of, you know, all right, I got $10,000 now. You know, I'm gonna go buy Dwayne a car, but you know, if you're not doing something that's gonna help keep generating that income or making it keep coming in, then yeah, you help Dwayne buy a car, but what's next? Like, what are
Mhm.
you gonna do next? Like now you spent your money. What are you gonna do? And I'm not telling people to be selfish or to focus on themselves, but you do gotta love yourself and you do gotta have a plan. You gotta love yourself before anything. That's very important. And
Okay.
once you know find yourself and love yourself, then you can love everybody around you and pour out that same energy. But having a plan, having a way that you're gonna set everything up and you know keep that revenue stream coming in to be able to impact people's lives, like that's very important too. Because I mean, shoot. you see how people win the lottery, and they can have all the right intentions and have a good heart, and they go buy all their family a house and car, and then like it's all gone. Like,
Yeah.
so you got to know what to do with it next. You can't just get the ball and then not do nothing. I give it all away.
Oh, okay. So I always want to ask this though. In your opinion, what is success?
And I mean, it kind of relates back to my passion. To me,
Okay.
success for me is to be able to impact the people around me. It's not about me seeing what new car I can drive or this. Man, I carpool to work every day. I promise you, I do. I carpool to work every day. One, because I don't like to drive, and two, like it's one of those things that helps me stay humble as well. And there's a lot of things that I try to do to keep myself humble as well. But like for me, success is seeing Dwayne do something, seeing this person do something, seeing everybody around me. Like, man, I see them pull up in a new car. Like that makes me smile. If I buy a new car, shoot, yeah, it's cool, it's nice and all that, but it doesn't make me as happy and doesn't make me smile as much as seeing someone else have a new car, have a new house, or reach their goals or buy whatever they want or help their parents out, their family. Like that to me, shoot, that's success. Seeing it and then seeing those people do the same thing, be able to help their family out and pass it on, and like it's like, dang, you know what, like that's huge. Like see somebody where they're like, man, I see this person needed a car, I see this person needed this or that, and I helped them out because shoot, that's what you showed me and you inspired me to do that. So that's what I'm doing. So it's kind of like, that to me is huge, and it makes a big difference.
Success to you will be whatever you like or whatever you love, seeing it manifesting, seeing it happening.
Yeah,
That will be success to you.
yeah. Success to me is seeing other people be successful.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. I like that because for me, I'm somewhat like that, meaning like if I go out to have fun, me having fun is seeing other people having fun.
Yeah.
I like to enjoy seeing other people has fun because, to be honest, you know how it is in this world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so seeing somebody have fun mean a lot to me. Um, is there a moment in your childhood or adulthood that you never forget?
Um, I'd say there's probably a lot, but I mean the moment probably that sticks out to me at the most is my very last arrest. I mean, when I was sitting in the jail cell and I felt like my life was over, just sitting in that jail cell knowing I'm about to spend the rest of my life in prison.
Yeah.
When I every time I reflect back and think on that moment, like I gotta thank God for being where I'm at today. Just to be able to be free and be here, like be alive and not be in prison for the rest of my life or be dead, like it's a blessing.
You know what you never told me?
Hmm.
How did you get out?
Oh, so I fought my case. Yeah, I sat in jail for 2 years and I hired 5 lawyers at first, and the 5 lawyers wanted me to plea out. And I kept fighting my case. They kept wanting me to like, oh, take the 30 years, take the 30
So you
years.
hire 5 lawyers. So that means you got a little bit of money there.
I spent all my money. I
Okay.
spent all my money on the 5 lawyers. And then it wasn't till I hired the sixth lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
When I hired my sixth lawyer, Manny Aurora, what I had to do was I had good credit before I got locked up.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I had my fiance at the time go and apply for all the credit cards she could with my name. And I used those credit cards to hire my sixth lawyer. And I maxed them out. I figured what good is it to have credit if I'm gonna be in prison the rest of my life?
Yeah, yeah.
And that sixth lawyer is the one that saved my life. Like he was the one that put in all the motions to suppress. He's the one that helped get the evidence tossed out to where I could be released and my charges get dismissed.
I got a few more things I want to ask you. Like, I did ask you. I don't know if I did ask you. What would you say to the youths in the streets that is out there?
Oh yeah,
What advice will you give to them?
man. I mean, shoot, there's a lot of advice I would give them, but I mean, to be honest, just man, find something you love, find a passion, that you really enjoy, something you really enjoy doing, and go for it. And it may not at the time, it might be something you think you want to do for the rest of your life,
Mhm.
and then you might find out in a couple of years it's not, and that's okay. Shoot, it's not something you have to stick to for the rest of your life. Some people think, well, I went to college and I got a degree in this, so now I have to do this the rest of my life. No, you don't. I mean, shoot, yeah, you spent the money on it, or yeah, you got debt on it, but you don't have to do it the rest of your life. Find something that you truly do enjoy and do it. And like they say, when you're doing something you love, you're not working. Like when I come here and I'm at work, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah,
And
cause you love
yeah,
it. You
I love
enjoy
it.
it.
I enjoy it. And the day goes by quick because I'm always trying to think of better ways to improve the business or improve things here, the work environment, or improve people's lives here. And I love it. Like I enjoy it. I truly do enjoy coming here every single day.
How do you keep your 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 workers, your employees? How do you keep them comfortable and want to stay?
Well, it starts with hearing them out and actually listening to them, and them voicing their opinions and stuff like that. I could probably think of people that have employees where they reach 30 employees, 40 or 50, or not even have near 200 employees, and it's like they don't have that interaction anymore. I have a group chat, with all my employees for each company, and everybody has my phone number. Like if anybody has any issues or concern, like they can
Hmm.
send me a message, they can call me, and I'm gonna answer the phone. Like I'm not gonna ignore them. I'm not gonna feel like I'm above anybody else because I mean, they're the ones that make this company. Everybody plays a part in this company, and to make the well-oiled machine move, like we need each and every person here. So you just have to listen to them, and sometimes they might come at you with some stuff that doesn't make sense, but you tell them why it doesn't make sense. You don't just say like, oh, Dwayne came to me and he's like, man, we need to have an ice cream machine in the break room. And I'll be like, well, Dwayne, I don't think that's going to work good because then everybody in the back's going to be sick and, they're going to be stuck on the toilet or, things like that, just as an example. You have to tell them why. You can't just say, oh,
Hmm.
instead of me being like, no, Dwayne, we're not going to put an ice cream machine, and then you kind of shoot him down. And it's like next time
Yeah.
he's not going to tell you his idea, and he might have a really good idea the next time. He might come and
Yep.
say, hey, you know what? The ice cream machine idea was a bad idea. But you know what? I think we could put healthier snacks in the break room, to help our employees be more healthy.
Hmm. All right. So I want to ask you something about barbering because
Yeah.
I know you like barbering. I
Yeah.
know that for a fact. Um, so in barbering, getting a haircut, do you think it's for just a style or just a connection? Because in America, I notice a lot of people cut very often. Like you might have one person come to you twice in the week. So is you think it's just the connection or just for style?
For
They want to
me,
stay fresh.
yeah, no, I feel like for me, it is it's a thing of self confidence for a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
When you go out and you have a clean haircut, it makes you feel good. You feel like you look good. You feel like you got your crispy line up, and it makes you feel different about yourself. It's just like a woman when they put makeup on and stuff like that. I don't like when women put makeup on because I feel like they look better naturally. But women want to put the makeup on or they want to do their mascara or put their jewelry on or do their hair because it makes them more confident in themselves, regardless of how you look at them or how you feel about them. You know, uh, I tell my wife all the time, you don't need to wear makeup. You don't need to do your hair. You don't need to do that. But, sometimes it doesn't even really matter what you think. It's more so about them, their
Yeah.
self confidence.
So that means you think barbering is very essential then.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I know a lot of people that, if they don't get a haircut, they just don't feel like themselves.
So barbers need to start charging more.
For the right people, I mean, shoot, if
Yeah.
it depends what it's valued to for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is it valued to me? Am I willing to pay more for my haircut to make me feel better? Oh yeah, but some people don't value it the same.
Okay. All right. So one more question I have to ask.
Yeah.
Loyalty or respect, and why?
In regards to what?
Say for instance, friend, family, whatever. What do you value more?
Loyalty, just because it's a lot harder to find. You can find people that respect you and they're just a snake. You know what I mean? They can respect you in your face and, say all this and that, but behind your back, talk about you bad and say all these things about you, and not really truly be your friend. Somebody who's really loyal, I feel like is harder to find.
Yeah, and once they're loyal to you in front of you, they're loyal behind you.
Yeah.
But I understand exactly. I always think like that. I'm like, yo, listen, you can respect me because of what I do,
Yeah.
and the type of achievements that I have, right?
Yeah.
But you don't care about nothing that happened to me,
Yep.
or what I lose. But when you loyal to me, you're gonna make sure that I don't lose, even if I'm not there.
Yep.
The other day I asked my son this question, and he gave me his answer. I was listening to the podcast with him the other day, but I want to ask you, can money make people happy?
So when it comes to that, I feel like there's a false narrative about how people say that money changes people. I don't believe that money changes people. I'm a firm believer in that. I feel like money intensifies the person that you already are.
Okay.
And what I mean by that, if you're a caring person, you're a giving person, you look out for other people, even when you're broke. When you get money, you're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah,
you're just gonna do it on a bigger level. If you're stingy, you're greedy, you're tight, and you're all to yourself, and you want to be like that. If you get money, you're gonna be the same way. Like, and people get surprised and like, oh man, Johnny over there, my boy Johnny got money, and now he done changed up on it. No, Johnny was always like that. You just never seen it. So it's not necessarily that money can make you happy. You can get a lot more done with money, but like I said, it's just gonna intensify who you already were. So if you were already a stingy person, you're still gonna be stingy. If you were already a negative, pessimistic person, and you always had this bad energy to you, when you got money, yeah, you still gonna be that same guy. Yeah, you just gonna be able to. You're just gonna be able to say screw off to a lot more people.
Okay, so basically, if you're even saying that you have this bad energy towards you, and you're always complaining about everything, as if you have that money, you're gonna be the same thing, just on a bigger level.
Just on a bigger level. Like, you might be happy in the moment or whatever, but I mean, I feel like genuinely, when I didn't have money, I was still happy because I was grateful for the things that I did have in life. I wasn't like
I learned one thing. I was reading this book the other day, and it taught me one thing. It's like, whatever you have, if you start appreciating everything that you have, you'll find less things to quarrel about or argue
about as much.
I understand that for real. That makes sense to me. But I appreciate you so much. How long we've been doing this together? About
you've been cutting my hair almost over 7 years.
Wow.
Over 7 years.
Yeah. And look where we are.
Yep.
I know you 100%. When you was
young, man, 25.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That's it for today. You meet our man, Alex Marino from Freight and Half Off. Thank you for coming through. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. That was Cutting Up with your host, Stain Campbell.